In the Atma Samyamana Yoga, Bhagavan is describing the ascent of a yogi to his own abode. What happens when Chitta Shuddhi takes place? When the heart becomes pure, such a person, what is his outlook towards the world? And a corollary, that if that is not happening, then the heart is not pure. We as an individual deal with the subjects and the objects in this world. One may be rich, poor, small, big, young, aged. All of us have interaction, sangha, interaction with objects or subjects. And these interactions are expected as a part of the nature, so it is something that is swabhavika. However, the results of these interactions are aswabhavika. I come across a person who needs help and I help him is natural, swabhavika. There is nothing aswabhavika in it. Because jivo jivasya jivanam, sahayajna, we all as a constituent of the cosmos, universe, help each other to keep it in tandem. Such upkeep is called yajna, as designed and described in the scriptures, the Shrutis. While interacting, which itself means while acting, act you must. Nai kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtat. You can't be without the karma at any moment. So doing karma is part of the presence. It is ought to be done. Reacting to the karma is not swabhavika. This reaction to the karma that I'm performing, leading to the liking and the disliking, redefines my relationship with the objects and the subjects around me. I have somebody who helps me. There is someone to whom I help. There is somebody whom I hate. There is somebody who hates me. There is somebody who just wants to kill somebody. There is somebody who wants to always be of welfare to somebody. These are differentiations arising between the subjects of our interaction is essentially because of our reactions of likings and dislikings, which in itself is nothing else but the confabulation of the mind, the mudha chitta, the antakarana not giving the right impetus while interacting in the universe, leading to such kind of confusing relations in the eyes of Shastra. However, the Ararishu, the one who is in the ascent of the yoga, first decides to snap these stupid relations created by liking and disliking with the objects and the subjects. Objects being inanimate, he pushes them away. First, by being turning himself away from the objects, and later on by moving them out from the mind itself, the Dhamma and the Shama. However, in case of subjects, the living things, the animate things, the liking and the disliking is worked upon by the yogi by slowly scuttling down this entire gamut of relationship arising out of liking and disliking. As a result, what we have as relationship with the subjects, the yogi doesn't have. I have a friend in the society. I have friends. Everyone has friends. Amitra kuto sukha. Everybody has friends. Similarly, we have enemies. The boss, that guy who snatched away the opportunity from me, the man who shouted at me, the man who cheated me, deceived me. I want to take revenge. I wish one day he suffers. So I have a relationship, I have friends, I have enemies. Then I have other times also, those who are not connected with me, but they just come and try to trouble me. Unknown people to me can also trouble me. I'm standing in a queue for a bus ticket and somebody comes and pushes me, but he is little bigger and stronger than me, so I keep quiet. Now he's not known to me, yet he pushed me away. So unknown people walk over me, then I feel bad. Known people can walk over me. My mama, my chacha, my cousin, my brother, he did this to me. All these different untoward reactions of liking and dislikings are slowly snapped by the yogi, as a result of which his very outlook towards the relationship changes a lot. What is his relationship with the subjects around? Is the subject of this particular shloka. The shloka itself has only one word in the first line. Suhrun mitraryudasina madhyastha dvesha bandhushu is one word. This is because of the sandhi. So pada vibhaga has to be there, and this line is replete with sandhis. Suhruda plus mitra becomes suhrun mitra, is because of anunasika sandhi. Mitra plus ayuhu becomes mitraryuhu because of savarna dirgha sandhi. Ayuhu plus udasinam becomes ayur udasinam because of refa desha visarga sandhi. Then madhyastha dvesha bandhushu are three more words. Again, udasin itself is a combination of two words, ut and asina. Ut is a ending a, asina ending. So ut, asina, ta and a becomes the udasina. That is called jastva sandhi. So suvruda mitra arihi. Udasinaha. Sorry, I use the word ayu. It is arihi. Arihi udasinaha madhyastha dvesha bandhushu sadhuhu shwa api. That means sadhuhu api. Sadhushu api. Sadhushu plus api is yana sandhi. Shwa word has come. Sadhushu api cha papeshu. So these many characteristics are the types of relation that one has. It covers all the gamut of relationship. We all know Suvruda and Mitra, but what is the difference between the two? That is why Madhusudan Saraswati Maharaj, in his explanation of this shloka, he has clarified each word separately. Suvruda is one who works for the welfare of others, even though he has no relationship with him, even though he doesn't know him. So helping others without any previous affection is called suvrudha. जेका रंजले गांजले त्यासी म्हणे जो आपुले. वैष्णव जनतो तेने कहिए पीर पराई जाने रे. Parai. Parai is not known to me, but he is suffering. I must help him. He is a suvrudha, man with a good heart, golden heart. Mitra. Mitra is the one who does the welfare or helps you because he knows you. That is why he is Mitra. Suvrudha and Mitra. Suvrudha doesn't know anyone, still he helps. Mitra, he knows you, so he helps. He is Mitra. Arihi. Arihi is enemy or Shatru. But what kind of enemy? He is different than the Dveshu. Arihi has no relationship with you, yet he comes and troubles you. He is Ari. And the one who is known to you, he has troubled you, so you trouble him. It is called Dveshu. Similarly, Udasina and Madhyastha. Udasina, whatever is happening, good or bad around me, I am completely neutral towards it. The good part of that particular argument and the bad part of the argument, I have no opinion for either of them, is Udasina. While the one who has opinion that he is right and he is not right is called Madhyastha. Opinionated, non-opinionated about the things that are not connected to you is Udasin and Madhyastha. Because this is third type of relationship that you can have. Bandhushu. Bandhushu is again affection or welfare for somebody out of the blood relation that you have. So you will help somebody because he's blood related, Bandhushu. You will help somebody because he knows you, Mitra. You help somebody even though you don't know him, Suvrudha. You hate somebody because he has harmed you, Dveshu. You hate or you do harm to somebody even though you don't know him, you are Ari. You take sides in anything, or good side or a bad side, you are Madhyastu. And you do not take sides even if somebody is right or not. Udasina. Again, leaving all this. Personally, when you are behaving, there is now in all these relationships, second person is required. In all this, second person is required. But sometimes with ourselves, we behave. For example, reading a book that is sensuously enjoyable. Now, you're not reacting with anybody, but reading the book that is sensually enjoyable is against the scriptures. The one who does not behave or think that any way which is not against the scripture is called sadhu. And the one who does things against the scripture is called papi. Another word for papam is adharma, and sadhu is called dharma. Shruti vakyam pramanam iti dharmaha. What is given in Shruti? That is why in Manisha Panchakam, first instruction given by Acharya is Vedo Nitya Adhiyatam. Every day you read Vedas because they tell you what is right and what is wrong. Now, the one who is following the scriptures and the instructions or vidhi niyama, as they call it, of the Vedas or the Shrutis or the Smritis is called a sadhu, and the one who is not following is called papa, even in those cases. So that means the total categories of these, which are almost pertaining to 3 plus 3, 6 plus 1, 7 plus 2, 9. 9 types of relations are the relations with which we live in this world. All these relations are, it's all right. By whom? Samabuddhir vishishyate. Because the yogi or the aspiring yogi has reached a stage where he has developed a neutrality, and it's neutrality of a different kind. It is called a samabuddhi. That is why Kabir Maharaj says, Kahet Kabir suno meri loi. Kahet Kabir suno meri loi. Hum na kisi ke, hamra na koi. I do not belong to anyone, nobody belongs to me. What it means is samadrushti. When such samadrushti is there, then the yogi can be sure that he has ascended higher in the consciousness. The highest of the consciousness, Parabrahman, in its upper roop, Ishvara, is the most samabuddhi person around. That is why Ishvara by himself or by itself or by whatever gender you call it, shall never have goodness or badness of somebody in mind. We always blame Ishvara for everything. पता नहीं भगवान के मन में क्या आया and मेरे को ये ऐसा सब कुछ बनाया, मेरे को तकलीफ दिया, I am still not getting the success that I want. We try to blame. First of all, the yogi Arurushu, the one who is aspiring itself, is going to be Samabuddhi or trying for Samabuddhi. Then Ishvara being the ultimate destination, he is the abode of Samabuddhi. Paramatma is beyond Buddhi. But Ishvara Antakarana is the purest of all. Then how he can be held responsible? That is why in the shloka, sadhushu api papeshu bandhushu in Saptami, in the friend, in the ari, in the enemy, in the dveshi, in the sadhu, in that everywhere, samabuddhi vishishyate. And vishishyate means vishesh, visheshena dhiyate. It's not a common thing. It is the excellent characteristic of the intellect. Intellect in its excellence is this. The skhalite buddhi, the fallen intellect is what we have. So we have bandhu. You must have seen how we normally speak in our daily life. Actually, my cousin did a very bad thing, but what to do is my relation, no? Samabuddhi out of compulsion, because he is your bandhu. In case of yogi, it is not like that. Now we understand the statement of Jesus Christ more on the crucifixion when he said, pardon them, they do not know what they are doing. Who is asking? When Mahatma Gandhi was given a big blow by the Pathan in the early years in Pretoria, in Johannesburg, and he lost his teeth. He started bleeding, lost his consciousness and fell on the ground. Naturally, it was a big sabha, so Gandhiji was taken to the medical hospital, etc., etc. And when he became conscious, the first thing he asked was, I hope my friend, the Pathan, has not been harmed by anybody. That means no dvesha, na kankshati, na shochyati. Dvesh is completely absent. General Smut, who was the in-charge warden, the jailer of Gandhiji's imprisonment in Africa, was known for his treacherous and tortuous nature. He was a cruel person. When Gandhiji was exonerated by the court and he was leaving the court, General Smut was grinding his teeth because he was against Gandhiji. So while going, he said, Mr. Gandhi, you must be very happy about leaving the jail now. And Gandhiji, had we been in his shoes, we could have answered in a different way, that you got the right punishment, etc. But Gandhiji said, I must thank you because it gave me a lot of time to think and work on myself. And please accept a footwear I have made out of the leather for you. And he gave a footwear to General Smuts. The gentleman, General Smuts, after his retirement to England, kept this particular pair of shoes in his drawing hall, because the same person who gave it became Mahatma Gandhi later on. So the moral is, the relationship that you have, we all grind our teeth when we take the name of Mr. Jinnah. But Bapu is to say that there are only two friends of mine to whom I cannot make myself understand. One is my Kathiawadi friend Jinnah, and another is my son Harilal. No dvesh. No dvesh. These are all sons of God. All the avataras and saintly people say these are all sons of God. Shrunvanto amrutasya putraha. Vedas say that, oh, listen, oh, sons of nectar. There is no one word in Rigveda which addresses a human being as a papi. Why? Because it is coming from the celestial Apaurushaya origin, where everybody is looked with a complete love. The question comes, how is it that this particular buddhi gets developed? Yogi is developing the buddhi fine, but how is it that this buddhi gets developed and how one can really work on it? And the working on it is the buddhi or the antakarna in its original form was as pure as described here. It is the ego that corrupted that purity and brought us to this level. So if I have come down by 2000 feet, I will have to walk up 2000 feet. How did I come down? Feet by feet, inch by inch. So I will go up inch by inch. How do I go up inch by inch? By working on obvious and stark abnormalities that we have. Introspect and find out what are the demerits I have compared to this particular Samabuddhi. I have got hatred about certain things in my life. Reduce the hatred. Bury the hatchet, as they call it in English. Go and meet your relations with whom you had fought earlier. I don't talk to my that so-and-so. I don't talk to him because I don't talk because he insulted me. Forget about it. Learn to forgive. Kshama virasya bhushanam. Learn to forgive. Don't keep anything in mind. Lacerated wounds of relationship in the mind creates a bleeding mind. Help everyone irrespective of whether he belongs to you or not. Oh, he is from Kerala. He is from Maharashtra. I have to help him. He's from my state. He's from my gaon. He's from my family. Come out of all these barriers. Help wherever help is needed. Every person in the need of help is Narayana giving an opportunity for us to purify ourselves. He is doing an obligation upon us by giving us an opportunity to serve. It's not the other way around. Working on these aspects through this thinking then can lead us to development of Samabuddhi. And when we have the thought and the action, then for every step that we take, Lord helps us by 2 steps. The goodness will start flaring up. The sparks will start flying. The Chitta Shuddhi will start moving upwards faster, and then we will become a purer and a fitter person, and then we will also be slowly going into the lane of what is called Ari Rishu. Regarding the sin, Gurudeva has referred to Ramatirtha, that we are punished by the sin, not for it. You have not been condemned to commit a mistake. It is the mistake that is condemning you. The same statement is told by Gandhiji in different words. Hate the sin, but not the sinner. Sinner is always pure. Sin is what is an artificial implant upon his mind. One who has this implant in the mind should think seriously about himself. But when another papi comes, then we should dissect the papam away from the person and love the person and hate the papam. We always make a mistake. We hate the person and love the papam. Papam is the hetu or the karana. Once this develops, then what happens? The same thing has been told in Ishavasyapanishad. Yastu sarvani bhutani atmanneva anupashyati. Sarva bhuteshu cha atmani tato na vijigupsate. Vijigupsa is all these distorted relations that we have. It completely goes away. The 10th shloka brings us to the next step that this yogi takes. Once the samabuddhi is developed, then there is also an aversion he develops for the world. It is not a negative aversion. It is an aversion as a positive outcome of samabuddhi. When everything is same, we say we get bored. When everything is samadrushti, then the yogi feels it is better to be out of this world. If we study Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the yogi even feels very bad or maybe averse to his own body. He starts hating his own body. Now that hatred is not dvesha. It is this utter futility of the shariram as a vahana. And then what he does? He tries to detach himself for the sake of higher truths, away from the humanity, away from the disturbing factors, away from this relationship. And then he becomes yunjita satatam. Satatam is a avyaya. Constantly concentrate. Satatam yunja. This yunja word brings me to a point where, with the help of noble soul Pradeep ji, I joined this particular Chinmaya mission, Gita Jnana, on every Friday because of his invitation, maybe some 10, 12 years back. And the first day when I joined, this was the shloka that was going on. And the first word that I studied was yunjita. Yunjita satatam is constantly concentrate. Yogi constantly concentrate. Rahasi sthitaha. Rah is private. Rahasya of the private. Shashti. Rahasi. Solitude. Solitude and loneliness are opposite things. We are lonely. Yogis are in solitude. When you enjoy to be only with yourself, it is solitude. When you feel you are only and others are not around, you are lonely. Rahasi sthitaha, by sitting in solitude. Ekaki. Ekaki, one. One. What one? Only his Shuddha Janiv that I am. Nothing else is there. No smrutis, no samskaras, no people around, no connections, no vrut. In other words, niruddha vritti. Yogaschitta vritti nirodha, niruddhavastha. And such a person, because you can't have niruddhavastha unless you have controlled mind, body, yata chitatma. There are no more waves coming. Nira ashihi. And aparigraha. Aparigraha for us is not to collect the things around the car, the bungalow. For the yogi, these things do not matter at all. He is far away from that. For him, not to have the sanskaras or the smritis of the sanskaras. That is aparigraha that is hinted here, not the aparigraha of the normal type. This is called dharana, dhyana, samadhi, leading to sanyama. Such a person, yogi, hey Arjuna, now enters into the next stage, which is nothing else but the flight to the higher level of consciousness, which the Yogeshwara is going to describe in the coming shloka. Hari Om.
Hari. Sukumarji, please, the closing prayers.